Alissa White-Gluz frightens her fans, Judas Priest intrigue, and the legendary Megadeth alumni unite their forces. Metal is live and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. Alissa's adventures in Mexico. On December 3rd, amidst their month-long tour around Mexico, Arch Enemy gave a rather interesting concert, performing the entire set without their vocalist Alissa White-Gluz. Now, this of course happened because Alissa was sick, but back then they didn't give much explanation about it, but we'll talk about that in a moment. For now, I just wanted to point out that, interestingly enough, it is this instrumental concert which just once again reminded me about how awesome the guitar work was, and especially on the early Arch Enemy albums. As the thing is that I simply got enormous pleasure from watching the footage from that instrumental show. But nevertheless, towards the end of their Mexican tour, which Arch Enemy finished with their vocalist already, Alissa White-Gluz finally opened up about what actually happened to her, and among the many other things, stated the following: "Trust me, I have broken my ribs on stage and not missed a show. I have performed through bronchitis, complete laryngitis that took months to heal. Everything. This is different." After which Alissa described what actually happened to her, which could be a scene from a really scary horror movie, stating that this was the most pain she has ever felt in her life, although Alissa has a rather high pain tolerance.
What the hell are you?
So first of all, on behalf of all the metalheads, we wish Alissa the best, and we are very happy that she's back on her feet already, and hopefully this will not repeat again. But at the same time, I just want to point out how incredible the Arch Enemy fans in Mexico actually are. As at least from the footage available on YouTube, it looks like, despite the whole fact that this of course was not a complete Arch Enemy experience without their vocalist, the band still performed in front of a huge crowd, which did a pretty good job singing their favorite songs instead of Alissa. And here, guys, I know that you most likely hate when YouTubers do that, but the truth is that I simply have to point it out, that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the Metal Pilgrim channel. So if you don't absolutely hate the fact that I tend to change haircut amidst a video, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching on the show, I would really appreciate it if you would consider doing it right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. The new tour reality. One of the most exciting and promising new supergroups established in 2024 was the band Category 7, of which we spoke on the show before. But in case you missed that, consists of the guitarist Phil Damel from the bands Machine Head and Carrie Kin, Mike Orlando from Adrenaline Mob, ex-Anthrax and Armored Saint singer John Bush, Shadows Fall and Overkill drummer Jason Bittner, and the Exodus bassist Jack Gibson. So, not a bad lineup. And after dropping their debut album this past July, they were going to go on the road in 2025 with such bands as Exorder and a bunch of other amazing acts. Yet sadly this week Category 7 announced that they will be cancelling their 14-show run next year, which actually spiked quite a lot of discussion among the metalheads. So first of all, they actually did that in a very nice manner. None of this unexpected circumstances crap. They straight up said that the ticket sales were not as high as they hoped, and combined with the ridiculous touring costs band meets today, they simply would not be able to make their money back. And so they wanted to make sure that all their fans get their refunds before Christmas. So kudos to them for being honest, seriously. But this news actually opens up a rather interesting discussion. For the last couple of years, I've been talking about how we actually entered a new era of touring. The era of huge, massive world tours, even by the biggest of bands. Because the truth is that the pandemic really messed up our industry, and it looks like it did it for good. And because of the ridiculous increase in touring costs, bands are forced to come up with creative ways to stay afloat. Like for example Metallica, who are doing their 2 days events in every city, or even some huge bands joining forces and going on road together to cut the costs and be able to compete for that concert dollar. And this is exactly why we are forced to pay, unfortunately, much higher prices for seeing our favorite bands than we used to do before. And in this video I see no point in giving my personal evaluation of this. I think everyone understands what this means, especially for the new bands, for whom to be able to go out on the road and be seen by metalheads around the globe is virtually a mission impossible today. But the truth is that this is our new reality, and I'm 100% sure that next year and the year after that as well, we'll continue seeing those massive world tours, uniting a bunch of bands who would used to go on the road by themselves before that. And unless a miracle happens and something changes completely in this industry, both costs of touring for bands and ticket prices will continue climbing up. So here I just wanted to point out, hey guys, let's continue supporting our favorite bands and let's continue supporting new names in metal. Let's purchase their merch, let's go out and see those bands live if they are touring already, as only this can ensure that our favorite genre will continue striving. And this also applies to your favorite YouTubers, especially now that the holidays are approaching very soon. So if you would like to rock some Christmassy Metal Pilgrim merch inspired by the legacy of our favorite bands, and which has a lot of different clues and hints to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and many other of our favorite bands, just know that you can order it via a link in the description to this video, and I'll be more than happy to send it pretty much anywhere across the world. Because the truth is that this show actually exists thanks to my patrons and those who purchase Metal Pilgrim merch. So just in case if you decide to do that, thank you guys, because it does actually help out quite a lot. Metal Gods Intrigue. This week, Judas Priest announced a whole bunch of new dates for their upcoming 2025 Shield of Pain tour, including a huge show at the London's O2 Arena with nobody else but the legendary Alice Cooper and the support by Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. And now, I actually remember seeing Guns N' Roses around 14 years ago at the O2 Arena, and it's a great venue, so I have no doubts that it's going to be an incredible show. But the craziest thing is that this announcement felt a bit like an Easter egg for many die-hard Judas Priest fans, and especially given the fact that it will actually happen on a tour honoring Painkiller. As most of us metal maniacs, of course, do remember a very special tour in the Judas Priest history, which Judas Priest held together with Alice Cooper, which was somewhat of a continuation of the original Painkiller tour, and on which Rob Halford gave his last show together with Judas Priest back then, before parting ways with the band.
Still more metal to do, still more Priest world tours to do, and like your worst nightmare, we always come back.
And so I don't know why, but this announcement right away kind of felt like Judas Priest's way of saying, hey, we're remaking the 1991 tour, but this time we're going to make it right. And this, my friends, is a rather exciting thing.
Duh.
And in addition to that, this week Rob Halford finally opened up a bit about what we may expect from the upcoming Shield of Pain tour, on which, just as a reminder, Judas Priest are going to celebrate the 35th anniversary of their legendary Painkiller album, as well as, of course, continue promoting their latest studio-released Invincible Shield. And just as we expected, Judas Priest are not going to play Painkiller in its entirety on it. In fact, Priest themselves don't know 100% yet what their setlist will look like. Yet at the same time, Rob Halford did hint that there is a chance that we may finally hear some of the songs from that legendary album that the fans have been begging the band to play for over 30 years now. But meanwhile, right now, Judas Priest are finishing the first year of their Invincible Shield tour in Japan, where, as we all know, metalheads simply love Priest, which of course is pretty understandable, given it was in Japan that Judas Priest recorded their legendary 1979 Unleashed in the East album, which helped not only Judas Priest, but heavy metal skyrocket to absolutely new heights back then. So I don't know about you, but I simply love watching all the footage of how metal gods are being mad by their die-hard Japanese fans. By the way, guys, talking about upcoming tours, including Shield of Pain and Run for Your Lives tour, would you like me to release special episodes with my personal predictions about what the bands might and might not play on those? Please let us know in the comments. And of course, don't hesitate to write which songs would you love to hear the most. I'm actually really curious to find out. And here, guys, I just wanted to remind you that we're currently voting for the best metal album of 2024, and this year we're doing it slightly differently, because in addition to the public vote, we'll also have an expert board comprising of some concert and festival organizers, as well as some amazing YouTubers whom I'm sure you'll watch and love. So make sure to cast your vote, and in case you guys forgot who our top 10 nominees are, here they are. So yeah, guys, head to metalpilgrim.net, cast your vote for what you consider to be the best metal album of this year, and let the truly best metal record of the year win. And now the time has come for us to talk about 5 latest releases from this week, which, although did not get their own segments in this video, are definitely worthy of your attention. Burning Witches unleashed their new single Mirror Mirror, the second one in the past months, yet which we still have no idea whether it signifies an upcoming release of a new studio album by the band or not. Yet nevertheless, Mirror Mirror gives Burning Witches fans exactly what they want, a taste of classic heavy metal sound with a modern twist. A must listen for every old school metal maniac. Black metal legends Khors set their 8th studio album titled Letters to the Future Self free, which they started working on back in 2021 and finished already amidst a full-scale Russian invasion of their land. And according to the band's musicians, coming from the eastern part of Ukraine, these letters carry the voices of those whose time stopped forever in 2022. A very heavy release, which you have to be mentally ready for. Helloween finally dropped their highly anticipated Live at Budokan album, recorded at, Budokan, which takes its listener on a journey through their entire career and masterfully captures the feeling one gets from attending a Helloween live show. And by the way, in addition to that, Andy Darius said that he's getting ready to record the vocals for the band's upcoming studio album, so there is a very high chance we will be able to hear it sometime next year. Canadian thrash metal pioneers Sacrifice officially announced the release of their comeback album Volume 6 and dropped yet another skull-crushing new single from it titled Antidote of Poison. Overall, this is a very classic Canadian old-school speed thrash metal track, which if you are a fan of the genre, you simply have to check out. Let's go! Another new wave of traditional heavy metal band, Wings of Steel, dropped their first live album, Live in France, after the release of their first studio album earlier in 2023. And here's the craziest thing, this live album was actually recorded during only the 10th live performance by this band ever in their career, which you can definitely not tell from the quality of it. Guys, by the way, in case you don't know, recently I created a new metal playlist called Metal 365, which is being updated weekly and which includes the freshest and the most interesting metal tracks from all across the world, but has no more than 50 tracks at the same time and no more than 2 songs from one band released during the past year, making it somewhat of a weekly chart for heavy metal. So in case you still haven't added it to your Spotify or YouTube music library, you can definitely do that right after watching this video. As always, all the links will be in the description to this video. No jokes in metal. A couple of weeks ago, the most serious band in metal, Nanowar of Steel, celebrated their 20th anniversary with the release of an almost live album. And since we all know that it's pretty much a metalhead law that metal should be always kept serious, on this week's Metal Chat, I'm more than happy to welcome the boys from the most serious band in the world, Nanowar of Steel.
One of my favorite songs, being a huge Iron Maiden fan, is of course the one you put out several months ago, Afraid to Shoot Into the Eyes of a Stranger in a Strange Land. And I think, in all seriousness, that this is the most serious song you guys have ever written, because it actually tells a very precise story on what happened, to the main character, the protagonist, and you tell it masterfully through the music of Iron Maiden. So when doing something like this, how much of a research and how much of effort do you guys put into writing a song like this?
Basically, yeah, but I mean, we had a lot of time, and so we just put a brick after another one, and little by little we have composed this song. But as you said, it's a very serious song because we used to write serious things. Problem is people don't understand that, and when we used to write something, there is pain in our songs, and the fact that we make maybe a nice melody, not so dramatic melodies, just because we don't want to put so much drama into our songs, but they are serious. That's the point. You know what I mean?
As I said, it is a very serious song. I actually felt for the children of Charlotte the Harlot very much.
I felt more for the virus that they got, and then...
The virus of the Ancient Mariner.
The virus of the Ancient Mariner is a very terrible virus.
Is it? Do you know anything specific about it? Because I don't think that we've got any explanation in any of the Iron Maiden lore before that. I mean, how were you able to do the research for it? Like, did you put out any Greek documents from the past?
No, of course, because it's secret. It's been done in the research labs of Wuhan. They developed the virus of the Ancient Mariner there.
Mm-hmm. So it was the original pandemic virus. Okay.
But that's less infectious. You can only get it through Charlotte the Harlot.
Only?
Yeah, so the only way to make an epidemic is taking Charlotte the Harlot on a world tour.
But the thing is, the problem with this is that 22 Acacia Avenue has been pretty busy. We all know that. According to the initial sources sung by in the Number of the Beast album, there sometimes have been queues and lines to enter to Charlotte's domains. That means that at least 20 to 30 people per day were infected in England alone.
That's not much, but we have to compute the R0 value of the infection. So I can come up with the mathematical model of the spread. So we can keep this for the next.
Please do, because I think it's very important for people to know the truth. I think
Yeah.
it's been way too long. It's been, what, almost 40 years since it has started, and up until right now, no one really knows the truth yet, right?
No.
I mean, it might be your neighbor. Your neighbor might have it. You might have, caught it from somebody else.
I don't my neighbors. I'm pretty sure I don't get it from them, so it's okay.
Well, you never say no, right?
Well,
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, despite Nanowar of Steel, of course, being one of the most hilarious bands in metal, these Spinal Tap disciples actually do manage to somehow capture the essence of each band they represent in their new song. And one of their latest one, Afraid to Shoot Into the Eyes of a Stranger in a Strange Land, is literally one of the most thought-through songs I've heard in a very, very long time. So yes, if you are one of those people who 100% believe that metal should always be kept 100% serious, and you still haven't checked out Nanowar of Steel, definitely give this very serious band a listen. Megadeth Alumni Reunion. This week, we were treated to a whole bunch of incredible tour announcements for 2025, including King Diamond's joint run with Paradise Lost, System of a Down's concerts with Khors and other bands, and hey, even Bruce Dickinson announced his first solo date for 2025. Yet the most interesting of all of those, at least to me, was the announcement of a joint tour of nobody else but Kiko Loureiro and Marty Friedman. So the two Megadeth alumni are set to hit the road together on their Theory of Mind tour, which will commence on May 30th. And although, at least as of right now, the two guitarists announced less than a dozen joint dates, this announcement still has been one of the most exciting news for all the die-hard Megadeth fans, which of course is pretty understandable, given it is Kiko and Marty, who many Megadeth fans, including myself actually, consider to be some of the best guitarists this band has ever had. And we all of course know that before leaving Megadeth, Kiko Loureiro actually suggested both to Dave and the Megadeth management to invite Marty Friedman back into the band. Yet it looks like the financial aspect of it did not really make sense to Dave Mustaine, which I guess is rather interesting because pretty much simultaneously with the announcement of this tour, Marty Friedman has once again opened up about why exactly did the Rest in Peace lineup reunion, which was supposed to happen around 10 years ago, did not happen, stating that the salary offer he received from the Megadeth camp at first made him really angry, but then puzzled and sad, because this huge reunion, which was supposed to be a big deal in the world of metal, still was going to offer him significantly less money than what he was making just as a solo artist in Japan alone. So yeah, it looks like the reunion of the two Megadeth guitarists who have never actually been in the band together at the same time is the closest the band's fans are going to get when it comes to Kiko Loureiro or Marty Friedman going back to the Megadeth family. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually really excited to see what these two legendary guitarists have prepared for us for 2025. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and thank you so much for supporting me, this show, and Ukraine through this very difficult time. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment under it, spread the word. I mean, you know what to do. Every YouTuber asks you about exactly the same thing. So unless it's your first time on YouTube, I think you know what to do. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!